And we are live. Hello, everyone watching. I am sorry for the wait that y'all had. If you're still in here, I really hope you are. Hello, everyone watching. Oh, God. Hold up. Hold up.
That was me. My bad.
Okay. Like, oh no, I fucked up.
No, I did. I had to completely get rid of that. So,
Okay.
okay, there. It's taken care of.
Uh, if this is the first time joining us, I am Rise to A's, now going by the Tea-Perialist. Here on my channel, we have three basic things. What do you believe? Why do you believe? And what could change your mind? Very simple format, and there's really not much to it other than that. There will be some joking, of course, and some little banter. But
especially when you got you and me together on this one.
Yeah, especially that. Last time I had Reverend on here, I think that was actually my longest video, and it was mainly consisting of, well, I think a few dick jokes. We're not the most mature here, but who cares?
No. That was the pre-show where we were testing stuff out. That's where all the dick jokes were.
Ah.
This time it was dildos.
Oh, right. You see the point. But I would like to thank you all for joining in here today. And right on to the actual bulk of the show. Reverend, would you care to introduce yourself?
Well, I've been known by many names. Artistic Dreamer, probably the longest running one. Go by Reverend Ruin now. Reverend is actually true. I am ordained. So, want me to marry you? Want me to bury you? I can do it. Want me to start a church? My ethics prevent me from doing that because then I'll just scalp y'all.
But you can make so much money. No? Okay.
Ethics.
Who needs any of those?
So, yeah. Been 9 months since we last spoke, and it's, man, it's a whole new ballgame.
It is.
So.
I know last time you were on, you were a self-professed pagan. I know you said in the pre-chat that it has changed. Would you like to explain some of the more radical changes?
The whole paganism thing, I tried to believe, I just couldn't. I cannot believe in gods. I just can't. Whether it's the Abrahamic God, whether it's the Norse gods, I'm sorry, I cannot find. Hitchens used to quote this, that I forget who it was, Thomas Aquinas or something, said there are some who are so built as they just cannot believe. Well, I believe that you and I can relate to that. Even when we try to, even when we might look at it and explore such an option. In the end, we have to be honest with ourselves, and I had to be honest with myself, that I just can't believe in any god or gods. It just doesn't work for me. No matter how you put it, and no matter what you try to do, if you're attaching the label of God or gods to something, I'm going to have a major issue with it due to verifiability, due to objective evidence. And even my experiences, I can explain every single one of them away rationally. Does that mean that does that mean that everything that I believe is rational? No. No. For instance, I believe that love is more than a series of chemical connections that you make with another person. I believe that love can be a deeply spiritual thing. And technically that is an irrational belief, because we can unpack the chemical connections that we make with each other, with the oxytocin, the dopamine that's released, all that kind of stuff. But, I personally believe that it's a lot more than that. And, I wouldn't be sitting in front of this window and looking like, some kind of vampire if I didn't. I lived in Michigan. Now I live in Wisconsin. It just, at the end of the day, there just is no proof for any God concept.
Well, I want to make one quick interjection. I wouldn't say there is no proof. I would say there is no good proof.
I disagree.
That's
if
weird.
you start the conversation with objective evidence and end it with there is no proof, then you can safely say that.
And it's weird you would disagree. I'm the anti-theist here. I'm the one who thinks that it is an objective fact that I am as close to being a strong atheist as I can be without definitively saying it. Where I am, the more defined the God is, the more confident I am in the ability to say this does not exist. But even then, I can recognize that, okay, sure, you could say this is proof.
That doesn't make it so. You need objective evidence. Otherwise, there's no proof.
You're right to an extent. And maybe it's just how I grew up in the deep South, where some of the things may still come through. Well, hey, maybe a God could have created everything and then fucked off. He could have started life and then fucked off. Sure, that's a possibility, I could say. I don't agree with it, but I can at least...
there's an argument for deism, but then you can go into the question of whether or not a deistic God concept even qualifies as a God concept. Could it not just be something that's different, something that's alien to us? It just doesn't have to be a God concept.
Yeah, you're right. For things like that, I try to err on the charitable side and say, hey, sure, I could concede this is evidence for whatever position. It's just not good evidence. I
understand what you're saying, but I actually quite disagree, as you can tell. What it comes down to is when you're claiming any kind of a God concept, you're claiming something that is objective, ultimate.
Yep.
And anything of that kind wouldn't leave anecdotal evidence or hearsay.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Now, just let me finish here, okay? Just like we leave evidence of our presence, fingerprints, DNA, if we are secretors, things like that. Hair. As you can tell, I'm going even more bald than I was 9 months ago. Yeah, I see the comb over.
Actually, well, that's just a more default of how the camera's set up. I can't get it over my computer screen.
But getting back to the point is that anything that would interfere with the physical, no matter what, would leave evidence. But here's something interesting. I alluded to it before we started, and this is where I'm going to start taking you down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Schrodinger's cat. What do you know about the experiment, or at least the thought experiment?
You put a cat in a box with, I want to say, a lethal dose of poison in it.
Chance. A 50-50 chance
Yeah, and
of a lethal dose of poison.
You close the box and it enters a hypothetical superposition where the cat is both dead and alive until absolved to be one or the other.
Yeah, okay. Basically, at that point, if the scientist were to open the box and then observe whether or not the cat is alive or dead, it would then be collapsing a quantum wavefront of probability. All the different probabilities, alive or dead, would then collapse into a reality. Okay?
All right.
Okay, now let's expand this just a little bit here. And if we reframe and change the equation just a little bit, we have a scientist that has either found a live cat or a dead cat. In this expanded frame, it's not about the cat anymore, but the wave function of the scientist. Okay?
All right.
Who collapses his wavefront?
I would argue the absolver.
If he's alone.
Not sure. Like I said, I don't understand enough about this field to really have much of.
In order for the quantum wave front of probabilities to collapse, there has to be an observer. Now, since the scientist cannot collapse his own quantum wavefront, what collapses it, or who, if he's alone?
Not showing the slightest.
We operate in 4 dimensions, correct?
I believe at a basic, yes.
Yeah, length, width, depth, and time. Basically.
Yeah, sure.
Time is our 4th dimension. Now, it's been postulated that we actually exist in a realm of reality that can go up to the 11th or 12th dimension.
String theory. Yeah.
You don't even need string theory.
Would that not be
just dimensional? Just dimensionality. Let's not bring string theory into this, because that's going to be going down a whole different rabbit hole of multiverses.
Okay.
So just concentrate on dimensionality, okay?
All right.
In order for the scientist's wavefront to be collapsed, there would have to be an observer further up the chain of dimension. Crimson, don't screw me up.
I have to post that. That's good.
I am a very neophyte here. I'm basically, somebody talked to me like I was a trained chimp to help me to understand this. And it's something that I think everybody has experienced at some point, is this collapsing wavefront of probability within their life, whether they realize it or not. It's something that I feel that everybody has experienced at some point. I might be wrong. That is anecdotal. That is fully my opinion. So, if the wavefront for that scientist is to be collapsed, it has to be something further up the dimensional chain. You could perhaps, stretching the definition quite a bit, call that a deity of some kind, because it is so different from us, but I won't use that label. I don't. I don't see that label has any application. I just prefer to call it would be alien to us, not unalien as, a Vulcan or something. Just alien in the way that it exists in a different frame of reference to us. Just like something that would be two-dimensional would not be able to interact with us, we cannot interact with a 12th dimensional being kind of situation, or at least not understand it.
Okay. So I think that pretty handily clarifies what you believe. Now it's on to the more important one of
even if put that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually a good point, Crimson.
The thing is that if it were at a different entropic point, it would still have to be in a different set of dimensionality. That is not correct. It could not be from the past.
I am going to put up atheistic snails real quick because I kind of.
I want to cover. I'm going to read this one so you don't have to put it up. Crimson stated the observation could come from a point in the future or past as well. No. It can only come from one direction, future, which would then require it to be further up on a dimensionality chain anyways. Seems to result in an infinite regression or a special pleading situation, though. I wouldn't say infinite regression because there is a point where it would stop. Special pleading, until we actually know more about higher dimensionality, it could be seen as that, yes.
Okay. I wasn't really agreeing with her on the infinite regression. I would have had to agree with her on the special pleading on a minor point of we don't know therefore X.
And that's why I was willing to accede to the special pleading at this point, because we don't know enough yet. What we do know is that, as shown in the two-slit experiment, the universe knows that we peaked. Okay, and I'm pretty sure Crimson can back me up on that one. So even if something from the future peaked, the universe would react as though it peaked. That's not special pleading. That's actually proven with the double slit experiment is what it's called, actually. Which is, it's starting to get into something that breaks my brain, which is the delayed choice quantum eraser. Which states that even if we're not measuring X, if we have any way to know that X would behave, if we have any way to know X, the universe will behave as though we measured X. And I'm probably murdering it right now, but like I said, it's basically being... Damn it, Crimson, you had to bring up string theory again. String theory breaks my brain, as does the quantum eraser. What is the actual thing?
I agree with Snail Heel. It is confusing, and I hate it.
I love delayed choice quantum eraser. There we go. That's what that is. I love quantum physics. I love quantum physics. It is so intriguing, but I know maybe throw 0.100 zeros and then a 1%. And, I mean, you even mentioned Feynman's quote that if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't. And It's interesting. It really brings up a lot of different ideas and a lot of different existential questions that can apply to our existence. And let me read this. This is a comment that I got elsewhere. This does not mean necessarily that there is a God per se, only that something that lives in our 11 or 12 dimension end space intersects with the 4 dimensions that we use. So that's about where I am with it, and I agree. Like I said, I won't ever call it a deity or a god. So
I'm gonna just pretend like I knew what any of that meant.
boil it down to no gods exist. So
all right, so we got past that before we delve into much deeper into this matter.
I love it. I love it. I love that one. Just remember that with quantum mechanics, that there is a room somewhere that generates cheese every time you walk into it. And that's actually true.
Quantum cheese.
Somewhere, somewhen. I mean, it's such an interesting series of possibilities. And it sounds so ridiculous.
I'm trying to think, would the quantum cheese be Swiss cheese?
With quantum tunnel? Well, then,
yeah, going with it, yes.
There you go. Hey, and then we can start a religion because then it'd be holy.
Holy shit, yes. All right. Before we get much deeper into this rabbit hole,
I don't think I can go any deeper.
Trust me, there was always a way to go deeper.
There's a way to go down the rabbit hole in
Remember,
a negative way. I mean, we can start.
Deepak Chopra is a person that exists.
And that gentleman kills the stream.
Please don't leave.
Bring up Deepak Chopra and everything dies.
So we discussed what you believe. I think it's good to enter the next part of why.
Shut up, Crimson. You're breaking my brain.
No. So I think it would be good if we enter the second part of why you believe. Why is it that you...
This is something that is provable in quantum mechanics. It's fun breaking my brain. I agree. Moving on.
Why is it that you believe that quantum physics or quantum mechanics can prove something that is higher than humanity, for lack
Would
of...
it be higher? No, it's only higher as far as the dimensional plane goes. It's not any higher. It's just different.
That's why I was saying higher for lack of better.
It's just different. I mean, it's as different as we would be, again, as to a 2-dimensional being.
So and I don't want to try Starman, so please do correct me. It's just because it could exist on different dimensions. We couldn't necessarily interact with it. Therefore, it could theoretically exist. I'm trying to word it in a way that is as Starmaning as possible.
My brain's already broken, so yes. I really don't know. I've been trying to do a lot more research into this, but some of the concepts are just brain-bustingly insane. I mean, just the fact that earlier on we were talking about that somewhere, somewhen, according to quantum physics and quantum mechanics, there's a room that every time that you walk into it makes a pile of Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just, and that, one of these days we need to do a three-way conversation with Crimson so he can break both of our brains.
I don't think it's appropriate to do anything three-way with Crimson. I think that's a good way to lose all of my channels, be it Twitter or YouTube.
I wasn't talking about that kind of three-way. If
Crimson, he would make it that way.
You do realize that I've done work for Crimson as well.
I did not.
Yeah.
I know Crimson well enough from Discord and Twitter before he lost his account.
Oh, trust me. Crimson can behave himself. So
I know no one asked, but still, I like tea. If you can, I would honestly recommend trying this.
So yes, and you are a blasphemer because of that milk and honey.
I am the Tea-Perialist. I'm the imperialist of tea. I do no thing as blaspheme tea. I only blaspheme coffee.
No, you blasphemed the tea too.
The leaf water.
You jumped the shark, man. You jumped the shark.
I say the leaf water goes well with the honey and the splash of milk, and I do mean a splash. I don't even add a whole. Which one's smaller? Tablespoon? Teaspoon?
Teaspoon is smaller than a tablespoon.
Okay, yeah. I always get the spoon sizes confused. I'm not good with measurements. I don't cook. I don't even add a whole teaspoon worth of milk to the tea. It is literally just a splash of it.
Yeah. Keep trying to defend yourself there.
I will do this.
And for those of you just joining in, this is his channel, and this is two twits talking.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I think it's fair that we go on to the third part of this then.
Change my mind.
Okay.
At this point, the way that Crimson keeps going on about the various different implications of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, I'm not even sure I'm really here anymore. I think that there's a part of me that's in the Proxima Centauri system, heading for the chronosphere.
Technically, I guess you could have an electron that fall, because there's always a nod. We can never definitively know where the electron is. It's just a probability bubble that expands infinitely outwards.
Okay.
So theoretically, you
That's
could.
what they're doing. They're flicking electrons at you when they do this.
If you're even pointing in the right direction.
And you wanted this to be your relaunch? What were you thinking?
I don't stay on topic very well.
No, neither do I. If anything else, this has definitely been entertaining, as Kristen has broken my brain in several ways. I hope that people can see the chat when they watch the video, because otherwise there would be large segments of this video that would probably not make sense. If I remember correctly, the chat will play to the
It
set of the video.
it is on YouTube. I just pulled it up.
No, quantum entanglement has not come up. Quantum entanglement will not come up, not with me anyways. Implications of quantum tunneling, Crimson.
Let's not do that. Okay,
Let's not.
let's not. I don't understand it at all. I don't want to be the idiot on my own stream. If I wanted to do that, I could have
Too late. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? In English?
if I wanted to be the idiot on stream, I could play some of Feynman's quotes, but I more prefer mocking idiots, in which case I would play Pharaoh Along. Oh, you're not familiar with him. I'm gonna have to talk to you about him after the stream. He's a interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say at this point that sometime within the next month I'm gonna be launching my own channel.
All right. God damn it, Crimson! Shut up.
Quantum tunneling.
On to the third part of what could make you change your mind about this.
Well, there's quite a bit of it that is actually provable via the math and via the experiments and such and everything. I don't know, a 12th dimensional being, showing up in my, if I could even recognize it, showing up, in my hello closet. No, that's just the SpongeBob sheet on my daughter's mattress. So I looked over, I forgot that I had that in the closet. I had the mattress with the sheet on it in the closet, and I see two eyes staring at me.
Oh, okay. That would have concerned me as well if I had seen that. Now I'm kind of concerned about my closet. I have some more figures in my closet. Don't judge me. I have too many for that. I just have a really creepy and poorly made Isola. He's a stress ball.
No, that's the dildo.
No.
Yes.
But yeah, I know we discussed it a bit before the stream and said it might be interesting to bring up. Unfortunately, local idiot man has caused a controversy because he stepped into an area he is not he's not all that familiar with.
Yeah,
it is Dawkins. I only say local idiot because it seems that whenever he steps out of his field of expertise, he is a bumbling idiot that can make anyone seem smart by comparison.
The problem is that I cannot disagree with you one single bit. What was it that I said before the stream? Every time that he steps outside of his area of expertise, he shoves his foot so far down his throat that he's up to his hip.
Yeah,
he's been attempting to do damage control, which
I am
quite helping.
I am bringing up the tweet now just to have context. Share screen. Yes. So I'll read it out real quick. It's one thing to deploy eugenics on ideological, political, moral grounds. It's quite another to conclude that it wouldn't work in practice. Of course it would. It works for cows, horses, pigs, dogs, and roses. Why on earth wouldn't it work for humans? Facts ignore ideology. For those determined to miss the point, I deplore the idea of a eugenics policy. I simply said deploying it doesn't mean it wouldn't work. just as we breed cows to yield more milk and could breed humans to run faster or jump higher, but heaven forbid that we should do it. A eugenic policy would be bad. I'm combating the illogical step from X would be bad to so X is impossible. It would work the same sense as it worked for cows. Let's fight it on moral grounds, deny obvious scientific fact, and we lose, or at best derail the argument. So, my main issue with this entire thing is this line right here. Let's fight it on moral grounds. Dawkins, if we did that, eugenics is bad.
It should be, his entire tweet should have been, eugenics is bad, period.
Yes. Although instances where selective breeding could be useful in humanity, yes. But eugenics has such a negative connotation to it due to the 20th century and the American slave trade that it's just a really bad take if you try to defend it.
Okay,
Even
let me stop you there for a second, okay? It's not just the slave trade, it's also World War II with the Nazis attempting to create the Übermensch and committing genocide.
That's where
it's all part and parcel together with why eugenics is bad, period.
That's why I said the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't just the Nazis, it was also the Japanese and Chinese on each other.
Russia.
And Russia. Yes, I often forget about them. I try not to think.
Russia had many eugenics experiments during the communist.
Yeah. You could argue that selective breeding in humans could be good.
No, because that would... The problem with that is the ethical and moral standpoint of attempting to breed in or out. It then opens the gates to everything else that's bad, so it's better to just no.
No, I agree with you. Fundamentally, I agree with you.
There are, and yeah, I've been arguing about this all day too and discussing it off and on all day. There are certain portions that have come out of it that we have used for good. Okay? Pieces. But as a whole.
Yeah, no, as a whole, really bad idea.
The testing that we do pre-birth actually came out of that movement.
Like, for example, one good thing that came out of it, CRISPR. Well, hey, this is a deadly genetic disorder. We could remove this from their genome. Hey, that's a good thing.
We're not even talking about genetic modification at this point. I mean, that's another ballgame.
But
we're just talking about, I mean, selective breeding is a dead end. I mean,
and from
just look at
what you said,
pure breed dogs.
Yeah, no, I would agree that selective breeding, I could see it on a surface value, surface level only, where this can have some good ideas. But when you use the word eugenics, it has such a negative connotation that if you try to defend it, you're just wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to come full circle, I mean, Dawkins should have just said eugenics is bad, period. Left it at that.
Yeah.
Instead, he decided to come outside of his area of expertise yet again. And probably set the marginalization of atheism up again by the theists for the next 5 years.
Yep, because I now fully expect anytime I interact with anyone on an AIG thread to say, well, you support eugenics because Dawkins said so. When I personally think Dawkins is a motherfucking idiot. I've said it before to people like Ocean Killtoy and solace that I don't find Dawkins as an intellectual. He refuses to come to anything with a scalpel. He only comes at it with a hammer and a chisel.
Not even that. It's a giant fucking wrecking ball.
Yes, that's fair. He doesn't understand. It seems like he is incapable of understanding nuance.
No, given his area of expertise and what we know of him, he has no clue what nuance even means, I would say. I find him an arrogant little prick myself.
Yeah, I'll agree. Like I've said to you, I believe he has some good quotes. He has some. He said some things that it's pretty hard to disagree with.
Yep.
Like the Bible being a chauvinistic.
I request you to the truth through science. I request you to put that up.
Yeah, that's fair. I have to. God damn, I have to do that. That's fair. It did take me a long while. But I at least learned. Dawkins has been doing this for how long?
Let's see, since the 70s?
Yeah, and meanwhile, I've only been on Twitter since, in one form or another, since 2016, 2017. I learned it exponentially faster than Dawkins has.
Crimson might actually have a point there, but does that make it good, or it sets things back negatively?
Yeah, just because you know what you're doing and you want to cause outrage doesn't mean it's a good idea. For example, if I had a following of his size, I would use it to pretty handily discuss any theological topic that I was confident with. I would use it to be able to use it to discuss, say, AIG or Kinham's ideological failures. I wouldn't use it in a way that I knew would cause people who say, hey, he is a spokesperson for this field being atheism, to create a way to where people can use what he said to apply it to everyone with that title. I don't like being represented by Dawkins. Dawkins doesn't represent me. I represent me.
Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, especially those that are involved in a religion or theism, is that, I mean, some people do understand this, like Ocean Keltoy and others, is that atheism is not this overall overarching movement. It is
an answer to a single question.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's this bunch of people who agree on one thing. We lack belief in God or gods because of the lack of evidence, of good objective evidence.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say it's just simply, do you believe in a god or gods? No. It could be for good reason.
Straw man beyond belief, though, so you have to go into the more philosophical, deep definition of it. Otherwise, you're going to run into some issues.
And I would say no, because that is all it is. You could have you could be an atheist for a really bad reason. You could be an atheist for a really good reason. You can. It's all it is just a yes or no to a single question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at me. Look at me. I'm what would probably be considered atheo-pagan in some ways, or atheo-fucked up. There's a lot. There's atheo-pagans. There's hardline atheists. There's soft atheists. There's the only thing that unites all of us is that we don't have a God belief. we say no to the question, do you believe in God? No.
Yeah, it's I like to keep it as just the top level of that's what it is. You can go in more defined. Is it for a good reason or a bad reason? Are you a philosophical atheist or a colloquial atheist? Are you a strong atheist or a weak atheist? A Gnostic or agnostic atheist? You can go into it a lot, but just at its most basic, it's just, do you believe in a god or gods? No.
Yeah.
You can expand on it from there. You can choose not to.
Yeah.
No.
At its most simplistic, yes, I agree.
And I feel, getting back to what we were talking about with Dawkins, where he would describe the top level atheism being a more of a philosophical approach, but moreover, I don't agree with philosophical. I don't agree with Gnostic atheism, where I don't like saying I know for a fact there are no gods, because that doesn't describe my beliefs. But I still describe myself as an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I reject the notion of gods, yes, but I cannot say with certainty that no gods exist.
Agnostic atheist?
Yes, that is what I would describe myself as. With the more described a god, the more Gnostic I am. Like, I am 100% confident in saying the Christian God does not, and in fact cannot exist.
Oh, I agree. I actually, I'll extend that to any of the Abrahamic gods.
It's the same God.
Asherah.
Not an Abrahamic.
Yes, it is.
I thought Abrahamic was just the God of Abraham, Yahweh.
El and Asherah were married, male and female, combined Elohim.
Okay.
Asherah was originally the female counterpart to El before the patriarchy took over and it became Yahweh, the war god.
Okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So
Abrahamic gods.
Okay. But the less defined gods, like say the Norse gods, well, yeah, they are still described as being, at least within the old myths, physical beings. Didn't really interact the same way that say Yahweh would. So I'm more comfortable saying, sure, they could exist. I don't buy it, but I can't definitively rule it out.
Yeah, and if you're making that particular judgment about the Norse gods, then you might as well go for the Greco-Roman.
Yeah. I mean, it was just an example.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's just this. I mean,
yeah. Well, the more defined it is, the easier I can say no.
Yeah,
just not. No, that's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The less defined it is, the more willing I'm able to say, sure, whatever. I don't buy it. Sure, I don't have an issue with saying that could be a thing. But again, God, I am getting way off track with this. Like I said, Doctor, I feel like he would be more of the philosophical hold atheist, and because a lot of people would see him as a spokesperson of sorts for atheism, I can't help.
They think of him as our leader when there's actually a pretty large amount of us that just can't stand the guy.
Yeah, no, honestly, I would trade Richard Dawkins for Christopher Hitchens in less than a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Hitchens, he knew how to approach things subtly. He actually knew the subject. He knew the matter. He knew how to discuss the subject. Dawkins just doesn't. He's great as a biologist. If you ask him any question about biology, sure, go for it. He is a renowned expert in the field. Ask him about biology. Don't ask him about theology. Like he's not good when he discusses theology. Aside from a few random good quotes or moments.
I'll make a confession. I've never been able to make it all the way through the God Delusion.
Neither have I. I made it to about page, I want to say 120.
I didn't even make it that far. I think I quit before we got up to 50. Whereas I could read The Selfish Gene. I read The Selfish Gene because that's within his bailiwick, and he can be just excellent at talking about evolutionary biology and the science and everything like that. So, even though he went kind of a far field with the whole thought virus thing and meme and everything like that, because now so many apply that to religion, and I can understand why, but meme is nowadays just a colloquial, kitty picture.
Yeah.
Kitty calendar, kitty calendar, kitty calendar, kitty calendar.
I do like memes, though. Memes all an internet culture at this point.
Exactly. But actually, by the original thought of what a meme was, they do fulfill that.
Yeah. I mean, they'll blame
of a thought virus.
Yeah, they'll blame moms, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Yeah.
They become ubiquitous. Yeah, they've become ubiquitous with the internet. If you're on the internet, you've seen memes. They spread like a virus throughout the internet.
Exactly. And
for analogies like that, yeah, Dawkins, you can talk to him about that. You could ask his expertise in it. He understands it. He understands how viruses work, how evolutionary biology, how that all works. But that's it. And he constantly feels the need to jump outside of his area of expertise. And I don't know if it's because he has a self-imposed grandiose attitude, or if it's he thinks he has enough followers that he can get away with it, or
maybe it's something very much simpler where he doesn't realize.
Yeah, or a Dunning-Kruger effect, where he doesn't realize just how little about the area he tries to talk about.
Oh, sure. And I'm sure that I actually espoused some Dunning-Kruger effect in my discussion that included quantum physics today. I mean, but I will be the first to admit that I don't know shit when it comes to that stuff, because I haven't. I'm trying.
I think I'm the first one to admit that. I pretty much started this whole thing off by saying, I don't fucking know. Just,
yeah.
I don't know. I see his tweets every once in a while, and every time I do, he trends because he said something really stupid. And then I have to deal with that as an atheist on the internet who espouses atheism. He talks about atheism. I have to defend myself against what Dawkins said, because Dawkins doesn't understand
274 replies.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what it is that he does by implication. God damn. Crimson, no more quantum anything.
No.
I know I'm pointing this way. My computer is this way. Camera is right here. Computer is right here. No, monitor is right here. I know I'm pointing.
Monitor there, camera there.
I know I'm pointing in the wrong direction. Well, fuck off, you deal with it. In fact,
Crimson's over that way. You're that way.
yeah. If you've noticed, I barely even looked at my phone because it's kind of weird to do that because I'm not looking at Reverend Hill, and I feel like it's just creepy to just stay with the camera. He does understand? On some level, I would say yes. He knows it's going to get him the interactions.
Or maybe he's just trying to stay relevant.
Yes, he understands it will keep him relevant. I don't believe, however, that he understands the wider implication of how what he says, how it affects other people who ascribe the same monocle that he does as an atheist. I don't think he understands what it does to that title or label. Title isn't right, but
so I'm gonna have to get going here pretty quick.
all right, that's fine. I have more Warframe to grind anyhow. That and I believe me and my roommate are about to go see the Sonic movie because we bullied an entire studio into changing an entire design of a movie. They at least deserve some of our money for that.
Think of how quickly they changed it. They knew it was going to happen.
Yes, but at least
they had it waiting.
It
was a marketing scam.
Even if it is, I still have to go. You listened. You very easily could have said, "Fuck you all. Here's Sonic."
I work in marketing day in and day out. That's my day job. Marketing stuff. It was a marketing scam. They did this to expand their reach with it. They knew what they were doing. It was freaking genius.
I'm still saying I have to go see it. I grew up with Sonic. I own Sonic Mania. I love Sonic. If they kept it with the original look they had in the first trailer, God knows how angry I would have been. But they did change it, whether it was already made and just for marketing, or it's because they were legit just bullied by the internet. Whichever. I like to think the second one because, let's face it, that's just hilarious.
You couldn't redo all of the CG as quickly as they did. They had it worked out.
Let me believe the internet bullied them, okay? What?
Crimson?
What?
What?
Why? 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 I am confused. You know what? I don't want to know.
No, neither do I.
Whatever you do not tag me on Discord with this. Please. I want to keep my sanity. Let me do that. Please? I'm begging.
I'm glad I'm not on Discord.
Oh no, if he tags me in that, I'm sending it to you.
You would be that evil.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for having me, man.
All right.
Oh, God.
And God, no. Let's end it
Bye.
here. Okay, yeah, bye. Thank you for joining. Bye.